Hey everyone, it's me again. Just wanted to come out here and make a video. It's been a little while, and there hasn't been a whole lot going on as far as some of the things that I've had made in the past videos, as far as spiritually, miracles and stuff like that. It's been kind of quiet on my end. Obviously life is keeping us busy, but with the family and church and work and stuff, but it's been kind of quiet for the most part. Now I can't say that for the rest of the world seems to be getting more crazy every day, and I know you're all feeling it because I'm feeling it as well. I want to get on today and just quickly talk about some of the things that are happening right now in the world, and how maybe we should be looking at them and getting some sort of comfort out of chaos here. Part of me, years ago, I used to pay a close attention to what you'd now call, or what you could call, conspiracy theories, things that we weren't sure if they were true. They seemed to make sense, but we couldn't prove it. Today, I think what's happening is there's conspiracy theories, but I think more and more people are seeing, including myself, that they're actually, a lot of what is talked about today is true. I think the doubt has been put aside more so than ever because we understand the level of corruption at all levels, through government, through corporations. I just saw more today. It looks like General Electric has done some pretty fraudulent things that actually supersedes Enron, if that can be possible. But that's the kind of stuff we're hearing. So I just wanted to just say hi, first and foremost, and I hope you're all doing well. But I did want to have you start thinking a little bit about, where you are while you still have to be here. So we're still living on this earth. We're still keeping, we should be keeping focus on what we're supposed to be doing here. And even with all the distractions that are going on around us. So first and foremost, some of the things I want to talk about, one thing, and then I want to kind of finish with what we should be doing as we occupy. So first and foremost, we don't know when we're going to leave here. I'm talking, when I say leave here, I mean rapture, God's going to return, that type of thing. We don't know. Now, any moment we could pass away, any one of us, in our physical bodies. But besides that, I'm talking about, we don't really know. We're in a season, most definitely. I firmly believe that. We've never seen anything quite like this before, what's going on. And I continue to say day after day that when wrong becomes right and right becomes wrong, as you well know in the Bible, that we are living in times when what seems to be correct is being questioned, and actually not just questioned, but going the opposite direction as its truth. Where falsehoods become truths and truths become falsehoods, and it's kind of scary in that way. I'll be honest with you. I have full faith in Jesus, and I'm not afraid to die at all. Actually, kind of welcome it in a small way, for sure, because I know and I have faith to believe enough to feel that way. But at the same time, some of the things that we're seeing are pretty substantially. They're pretty scary. Let's be honest. We're still in human bodies, and we can experience fear and nervousness and anxiety and stuff like that. Even though we have a full faith, the armor on, we can still experience some of those things on our weaker moments and such through our day and our nights. So one of those things that actually concern me right now is what I want to talk about is our economy. So like I said, we still have to be here to continue to move on until the Lord decides to either take us or come and get us. But what's happening right now is I kind of have a hobby that most of you do not know about. I don't talk about it, but I kind of keep an eye on the economy. I keep a pulse on things. I've always been that kind of geared that way. And one of the things I'm seeing in the economy is, I've been seeing it for a long time. This isn't brand new to me at all. I just have never mentioned it. And the sphere in the world in which I live around me, the people, pretty much don't care. They don't understand it. They don't want to hear about it. And I understand it's kind of gloomy. So who wants to hear bad news, right? I get it. But I've kind of become numb to that. Not totally numb, but pretty numb to it, because I've been in that world since early 90s, looking at economies and the right things, and looking at the right things to see kind of what's going on in the economy. And right now, the things I'm seeing, the bond market has inverted. Now you're hearing that in the news, if you watch the news at all, which I don't, but I know it's out on the mainstream news talking about the bond market is inverting. That just means that, to be quite honest with you, that just means that things aren't quite right in your world. That's all you really need to understand. That you don't need to know any of the detail about why or what. Just know that when that's happened in the past, that that has always been a lead indicator that we're going into a recession. So just know that. The other thing is that our 30-year yield, Treasury yield, is below 2%. This morning it was, and that's the first time in history that this ever happened. So what's happening is we have a debt problem. We're overspending in this country and in the world, and so the tables are starting to flip. The weight is becoming heavy on too much on one side, and we can no longer sustain it. All incorporated with all the corruption that is going on with the stealing of our money from mostly the middle class. That's most common people, the everyday people in this country. So we're being robbed blind. I mean, one common sense thing to think about is every single week 401k money is entered into the system from our paychecks. And that goes, millions of people across the country enter money. Yet the stock market, you think, would be up to 37,000 by now because of all the hundreds of millions of dollars each week that come in with corporate matching 401ks that people are contributing with their money. But yet you notice the stock market is still sitting around 26,000 like it has for the last 5 to 6 years. Why is that? If you're putting money into something, shouldn't it grow? If you save $100 a week, well, eventually you're going to have a stockpile of money that will, be larger than when you started. Well, that's not the case. And that's, again, just one tiny little example of what I just wanted to mention to you. There's a tremendous amount of manipulation, and as a matter of fact, not a tremendous amount. It's completely saturated with corruption in the monetary system. The government basically runs all the corporations in this country, along with central banks and, as you would know, maybe the Federal Reserve is what it would be called. So anyway, I don't want to get into detail. I just want you to know that one thing you can do is you can actually take your money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't pretend to be. These are the things that I'm doing with my money. Is I would take any money that you would have in like a 401k, if possible, and I would take a portion of it, if not a good portion of it, out, even though you will take a penalty, and I would dump it into a silver or gold. And you can get silver or gold at any local pawn shop or coin store to you, and you can buy 1 ounce American Eagles in silver and gold. That's what I would recommend. Or smaller denominations, you can get quarters and halves, tenths, stuff like that. But I would definitely be putting money into silver and gold. And the reason for that is because that silver and gold is going to preserve your wealth. So if you have $10,000 and hyperinflation hits our system, and bread starts to cost $10 a loaf, you realize that $10,000 isn't going to buy as much as it used to because they're printing money, so much of it, and it's so abundant that the dollar doesn't have the same buying power that it had before they started printing it. So ultimately what you do is you end up relying on the government not to print that much money and to try to keep things under control. But as they start to spend themselves, they're trying to spend themselves out of debt, which is absolutely absurd. If you're in debt, you're not going to take out more debt to try to pay the current debt because you're going to be further in debt. So, but that's what our government's doing by lowering interest rates. So that's what's happening. They're going into a death spiral now. It's starting to see this, and I care about all of you out there, and I don't want to see you get hurt. So I'm making this video, and this video is for you, that if we have to be here, which we do for at least a little while longer, at least invest your money into silver and gold that will preserve your wealth. Gold is expensive. Most people can't afford it, but silver is affordable. You can buy a silver coin for under $20 an ounce right now. I don't care if you can get 1, 2, 3, 10, or 100 of them. Get 500. Get whatever you can get, but hold on to it. Put it in a safe spot at your home. Do not leave your money in the banks. They're the problem. And do not leave your money in a safety deposit box. Excuse me, at a bank, because again, they're the problem. They're the reason why all this is happening. It's debt. And banks are in business to make money. And so I would say, so just, again, feel free to ask questions. I would be more than willing to respond to anybody quickly about this because it's pretty important. You having to take care of your own family and yourself is critical. Food, water, most of all, of course, God, Jesus Christ, number one, the only way, is important. But again, ammunition is important if we have to hunt. It could get really, really bad out there, and I don't want to get into that detail, but I fully understand the aspects of how bad this can get. And I'd rather not get into that here right now. But if you want to know more, certainly feel free to reach out to me. You can email me, text me, and if you want to call, I can give you a call. Or if you give me an email, I'll call you back, and we can talk a little bit about what better to do and what's coming. But it is hard to hear. Most people, it's ignorance is bliss, and I completely understand that, because sometimes I wish I could just remain ignorant. So because sometimes it's difficult to know the things that I understand about the markets and the corruption and how high it goes, and how Satan has infiltrated our entire system completely, 100% owns it, and we are a byproduct. We are being used for destruction ultimately. And I don't say this lightly, this is true. But again, on the other aspect, on the positive note, because that's difficult to hear, is that we should be occupying. We should be praying every day to God, asking Him to put people in our paths, in our lives, that that need to hear the gospel, is what we need to be asking. Not just thinking it, but actually our daily prayer should be asking God for guidance, to be in His will, to put people in our past that we can tell, because every single person, every soul is important. I mean, I stand sometimes in like a grocery store local here, a little drive-through gas station each morning, and I grab a breakfast sandwich or something, and I look around at people, and I'm always trying to find opportunities to tell people about Jesus. Always. If I am catching eye contact or any kind of thing was said, I'm thinking, okay, how can I further this conversation? It's kind of like a built-in thing. And not everybody has that. I totally get that. But try to start looking around your sphere, your world, at who needs and who doesn't know God, that needs to hear about it, you know? Yeah, it's really, really important. So just wanted to throw that out there. Just try to take a different look at things. It's really perspective anyway. And seeing things through God's eyes. I think Brandon Heath has a song, Give Me Your Eyes. Great song. I'm sure you all know it. I love that song because I pray that very prayer to God. Give me your eyes so I can see what I need to see. It kind of cracks me a little bit, but anyway, I'm just so glad to be back on here to say hi to everybody, and I hope you're doing well. I genuinely do. Like I said, if you have any questions or if you need anything that I can help you with, feel free to reach out to me. If you need any advice, again, it's just my personal advice. It's not financial advice in the sense of I'm an advisor, although I've been doing this a long time. I have a very good idea what you would need to do to protect yourself further. But if you need anything, just reach out to me, certainly. I love you all, and I look forward to, maybe getting a live session again. I really enjoyed that. My daughter even said recently, why don't you do another live session the other day? So that may happen. That may happen. But right now, like I said, I'm led by God. So I'm just kind of listening, and I'm waiting, and I try to be very patient. And I don't want to rush things and do it on my own will. But I felt led to get out here and at least tell you about some of the things that I'm seeing and how dangerous it is. And I would really recommend you positioning yourselves much better than you might be right now. 401k is something that in the past that was fine, but right now there's better places by far that you can put your money than a 401k because of the storm that's coming. All right. So it was great talking with you again. And if you need anything, like I said, reach out. If you could share the video, the more people that see it, the better. I could care less about commercializing my videos at all. I don't do that. I will never monetize. I'll never do anything like that because it's all about reaching people. So just help me do that, and like it and share it, and I'll see you next time. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.